Hello and welcome back to Azure Terraformer. This is part 4 of the Azure DevOps Terraform module library refactoring. In this episode, I want to add an auto approvers or auto reviewers to my branch policy, but I want to do it the right way. I want to have a group. I want to assign users to be members of that group and not individually assign users. So I need to provision an Azure DevOps group, grab a bunch of users, and create a group membership for each of the users. So in this episode, we'll be encapsulating that in a new module that allows us to do that pretty easily. This is a great example of a module where you have a number of different resources that are all very tightly coupled together to implement a common low-level scenario. This is by no means an end-to-end solution, provisioning a group. Like, nobody's going to set up a Terraform project just to provision a single group. However, it does make for a good reusable module that can be composed into a much broader Terraform ecosystem. A module like this could be plugged in a lot of different places to encapsulate that very common scenario of passing in a list of users and assigning them as members of the group. If you're enjoying this series, please smash that like button and also consider subscribing to my channel. I'm working hard to earn your subscription, and it would really help out the channel a lot. So without further ado, let's get started. Let's go look at my module. Okay, so in my module, I have branch policy here, and I'm basically saying, okay, if source Terraform has been updated, run these things, which that's good. Now my branch policy here is set up for each environment. So I have another module here for branch policy, and this is going to set up all those things. So this is the build validation for the plan for each environment. And then I have a comment resolution, true blocking, merge types is constrained, min number of reviewers set to true. Now, does that default to something? Yeah, the min number of reviewers defaults to 2. I'm going to change the default to 1 because I don't like that. Default linking, okay, fine. So now let's go back here and see what else we can do. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. What would be nice is if in my multi-stage repo, maybe I want to pass in who can approve for each environment. And so this will be really, really interesting. So we'll actually have a group created for production reviewers and dev reviewers. So I think we probably, so we have a pipeline for each environment. We're probably going to need to create a group in that same fashion. So we're going to have a group and we're gonna go for each environment. We're gonna set the project ID. We're just going to say each.key, and we'll say reviewers. And then I think what we're going to have to do is we're also going to have to set up group membership, right? So if we grab group membership, so this is we're gonna have a group for each environment. We're gonna have membership group members. This will actually be reviewers as well. And so now the group is going to be not a data source, but the group is going to be the correct one of these things. Now we need to have a number of these user entitlements that we construct. So that's going to be a little tricky, right? It might be easier if we construct this because I'm gonna create these entitlements. The entitlements are going to get created kind of like this, right? So it's almost like I need to create a group, give the group a name and a list of users. So I think that's going to be the easiest way to do it. I'm going to create a new module. I'm going to call this group. And honestly, like I don't think I'll ever have a subtype of group, but you never know. Let's just create a baseline group. Okay, and then we'll say main. We'll say variables. Okay, and we're gonna have the name of the group. We're gonna have a list of members. List of members is gonna be a string. Okay, so now looking at this code, it's going to get a lot easier. So our entitlements, members, actually this will just be main. And now because we have this list here of string, I guess it doesn't matter if we use count here. And then we're going to access the member from that. And then I'm going to I have to create a group. Creating the group becomes ridiculously simple, because there's only one group in this module. So in the scope of this module, I have one group. I don't need the for each block on the group. I don't need the for each block. I don't need the for each block on the group. I do need the project ID. So I do need to pass in a project ID. And we are going to pass in the name and a description. And I need to have a variable for the description. Basic stuff. And the members. So the members of this group is going to be, I don't know if I want to declare the members on the resource itself. I can always create group membership separately. So with this group membership, I can access the entitlements. Yes. So I'll just put main in here. And then the group is going to be my main group. And then my members are essentially going to be the collection of, it's not just going to be one of those, it's going to be a collection of them. And I can use the star notation to access an array of the descriptors from those groups, from the users that I'm going to add to this group. Okay, wow, that's pretty interesting. Okay, so we've got a group, we have to go look up the user references using this user entitlement, and then we need to add membership objects for each of those entitlements. And yeah, there we go. So let me copy this and paste this in here. And now instead of having this a bunch of these things, right, I'm gonna have a module which is gonna be my reviewer group. And I am gonna for each on this. And the name is gonna be each.key reviewers. The description is going to be pretty much the same. And then I need a collection of members. So the collection of members is going to have to come off of each.value.members. And so remember, this value is in the environment. And so I think what I need is a reviewers object or list on my input variable. And so with this guy, each environment has an Azure credential, an Azure backend, and then a reviewers collection, okay? And it's going to be a list of string. And so this list of string is going to, and this is set to default, I don't like that, default of 2. So now I need to pass in a list of string for the reviewers on this object. And so if I go look at my repo here, I am passing in my list of reviewers here, and I can just set that, to be mark@tinderholt.net. And for the time being, I am going to be the only reviewer. So basically, I'm going to add myself to this group. I'm going to use the group to create and I think I'm not even going to do anything with the group yet. I'm just going to make sure that I can provision the group. So let's run plan, just see what happens. Ooh, yeah, so my module path's all messed up. Let me go look at my module path. I didn't even set the source. So source equals ... So I'm in multi-stage, I go up a folder, I'm in repo, I go up one more folder, I'm in modules, and from there I can go to group baseline. And we should be good there. Let's try again. Project ID is required, yep. I added that kind of late in the game. So let me add the project ID. That doesn't change, so that should be okay. Let's try this again. Oh, group membership, reviewers, oh yeah. So these are just like little ticky-tack things where I'm just using the example and I'm breaking things. Where is that? Reviewers.tf, oh yeah, I just left this. I just left that in there. A little sloppy. Okay. Oh, and it's a data. I'm pretty sure we do not have a data. Yeah, we're not using a data group. We're actually creating the group. There we go. think we're good. I think we're good. Let's roll with this, and let's just make sure the groups got created and everything's looking good. Okay. If I go to this project and I can go look at roles, permissions, yeah. And I see dev reviewers, prod reviewers. It's not a wonderful description, but it works. So I do have dev reviewers and I do have prod reviewers. I don't like the naming convention, kind of stinks. So I'm not super thrilled about that, but it's working. Well, that's it. We've set up our group module that allows us to pass in a list of users and assign group memberships for each of those users. This should enable us to very easily create groups and link them to different roles within an Azure DevOps project, including, but not limited to, the scenario of creating auto reviewers, which we're going to tackle next episode. So come back right here for the concluding episode of this series, where we update our branch policy to include auto approvers for a group that has users assigned inside of it. Until next time, this is the Azure Terraformer signing off.